Namaste, my beloved friends. What happens when the planet of love meets the planet of detachment? What happens when Venus, the Karaka of romance, marriage, attraction, pleasure, and relationships, joins hands with Ketu, the headless planet of past life karma, separation, moksha, and spiritual awakening? Some relationships may become silent. Some marriages may feel emotionally distant. Some love stories may suddenly lose their charm. And some hearts may finally realize that what they called love was actually attachment, expectation, possession, or desire. This transit is not only about love, it is about the purification of love. It is about the transformation of a relationship into realization. It is about the journey from mohabbat to ishq. And whenever such a deep inner transformation has to happen, the cosmos creates a powerful meeting between love and detachment. Venus transits in Leo on 4th July and joins hands with Ketu while Rahu casts its 7th Drushti on Venus. Venus will stay in Leo till 1st August. This is a deeply spiritual combination. Venus represents love, devotion, beauty, relationship, attachment, longing, and the sweetness of the heart. Ketu represents detachment, past life spiritual impressions, renunciation, moksha, and the silent calling of the soul. So, when Venus and Ketu come together, the lower mind may experience heartbreak, distance, disappointment, or emotional confusion. But the higher soul receives a divine invitation, an invitation to walk on the path of devotion, the Bhakti Marg. Because Venus with Ketu can transform ordinary love into divine love. It can transform attachment into surrender. It can transform emotional dependency into devotion. It can transform I want to possess into I want to offer. And this is why the sages always said, Bhakti is not possession, Bhakti is surrender. True devotion does not say, God belongs to me. True devotion says, I belong to God. There is a vast difference between these two statements. When the devotee says, my Krishna, my Ganesha, my Sai Baba, my Buddha, or my Guru, it may appear sweet on the surface, but many times hidden beneath that sweetness is a subtle ego. The ego of ownership, the ego of spiritual possession, the ego that says, my path is superior, my Guru is greater, my deity is the real one, my Krishna is my Buddha is my Christ is mine. And in this subtle ignorance, the very fragrance of devotion is lost. Because love can never be possessed. The moment you try to possess love, love begins to suffocate. The moment you try to own the divine slips away from your heart. Because Krishna consciousness is not personal property. Buddha consciousness is not limited to one monastery, one statue, one religion, one sect, or one devotee. Christ consciousness is not owned by one church, one culture, one person, or one belief system. The supreme consciousness cannot be locked inside the small cupboard of mind. The Supreme is infinite. The Supreme is universal. The Supreme belongs to all because the Supreme is the very essence of all. As the Isha Upanishad says, Isha Vasyam Idam Sarvam. Everything in this universe is pervaded by the divine. And if everything is pervaded by the divine, then how can Krishna be only yours? How can Buddha be only yours? How can Christ be only yours? How can Sai Baba be only yours? How can any guru be possessed by one person? A true devotee does not shrink the divine into personal ownership. A true devotee expands his heart until he realizes that the same Krishna is dancing in every being. The same Buddha is silent in every soul. The same Christ is compassionate in every heart. The same Ganesha is removing obstacles for every seeker. The same Guru Tattva is guiding every sincere pilgrim. This is the higher message of Venus and Ketu. Venus says love, Ketu says let go. Venus says feel deeply, Ketu says don't cling. Venus says worship, Ketu says don't possess. Venus says offer flowers, Ketu says don't worry where the fragrance goes. Because the fragrance ultimately reaches the same divine existence. To understand the higher version of Venus-Ketu conjunction, you should first listen to this insightful story that I am going to share just for my close followers. There is a famous story about a Zen nun. She had a beautiful golden Buddha, a very artistic, aesthetic statue of Buddha made of pure gold. And the nun used to carry the Buddha wherever she would go. Buddhist monks and nuns have to go on moving for 8 months in the year, except the 4 months of rain. So from one temple, from one monastery to another, she was staying in one of the temples of China. She had gone to travel to Chinese temples and monasteries, and that temple has 10,000 statues of Buddha. It is a unique temple in the whole world. 10,000 statues. Almost the whole mountain has been cut into statues and made into a temple. Perhaps it has taken centuries to build it. She was staying there, and this had been her constant worry. Every morning when she worships her golden Buddha, she puts flowers, sweets, burns incense, but you cannot depend upon the wind, upon the breeze. The fragrance arising out of the burning incense may not reach the golden Buddha's nose. It may move in any direction. In that temple, there were 10,000 other Buddhas, and the fragrance was going to other Buddhas' noses. And this was intolerable. This was too much. She was feeling very hurt that her own poor Buddha is not getting any incense, and all these vagabonds, and my Buddha is golden and they are just stones, and after all, my Buddha is my Buddha. This is how the mind functions. It is so possessive. It cannot even see that they are all statues of the same man. Which nose is getting the incense does not matter. It is reaching the Buddha. But my Buddha, the old possessive mind continues. So she devised a small method. She brought a bamboo, a hollow bamboo, and cut it into small pieces. She will burn the incense and put the bamboo on top of it. One side will take the incense smoke in, and the other side she will put on the nose of her golden Buddha. Almost like making him smoke. But that created a problem. Her Buddha's nose became black. That disturbed her even more. So she asked the high priest of the temple, "What should I do? My poor Buddha's nose has become black." He said, "But how did it happen?" She said, "I feel very embarrassed to say. It is my own doing." And then she explained the whole thing. The priest laughed. He said, "All these are Buddhas here. One Buddha, 10,000 Buddhas. To whom it reaches does not matter. You should not be so miserly, so possessive. Buddha cannot be yours and cannot be mine. The nose of the Buddha has become black because of your possessiveness." And the priest said to her, "We are making each other's faces black because of our possessiveness. If we could give without even thinking to whom it reaches, because to whomever it reaches is part of the same existence as we are part of it, it reaches to us." This story is not merely about a Zen nun. This story is about every human being. This story is about every devotee who begins with love but slowly falls into possession. This story is about every seeker who begins with devotion but slowly becomes identified with my path, my Guru, my Krishna, my deity, my sampradaya, my religion, my belief. And the moment my enters devotion, the nose of Buddha becomes black. The moment possessiveness enters love, love loses its purity. The moment ownership enters worship, worship becomes polluted by ego. This is the deep warning of Venus Ketu. Ketu is not against love. Ketu is against attachment. Ketu is not against devotion. Ketu is against possession. Ketu is not against worship. Ketu is against the ego that hides behind worship. That is why Venus Ketu can give the highest form of bhakti if you understand its real message. The message is simple: love deeply but do not possess. Worship sincerely but do not claim ownership. Offer flowers but do not control where the fragrance goes. Chant the name but do not make God your personal property. Bow down to Krishna but understand that Krishna consciousness is universal. Bow down to Buddha but understand that Buddha consciousness is not confined to one statue. Bow down to Christ but understand that Christ consciousness is the fragrance of compassion, sacrifice, forgiveness, and divine love. Bow down to your Guru but understand that Guru Tattva is not limited to one physical form. A real devotee does not say, "Only my Krishna is true." A real devotee says, "Wherever there is love, there is Krishna." A real devotee does not say, "Only my Buddha is pure." A real devotee says, "Wherever there is silence, awareness, and compassion, there is Buddha." A real devotee does not say, "Only my Christ saves." A real devotee says, "Wherever there is forgiveness, sacrifice, and unconditional love, there is Christ." This is spiritual maturity. This is the flowering of Venus through Ketu. When love becomes free from possession, it becomes prayer. When devotion becomes free from ego, it becomes bhakti. When worship becomes free from ownership, it becomes surrender. And when the heart becomes free from mind, then the whole existence becomes divine. So during this Venus Ketu transit, don't ask why is love becoming distant. Ask what attachment is Ketu asking me to release. Don't ask why am I feeling emotionally empty. Ask, is the divine making space inside me for a higher form of love? Don't ask, why is my devotion not giving me peace? Ask, have I turned devotion into possession? Because the first measure of spiritual progress is not how many mantras you chant. It is not how many temples you visit. It is not how many rituals you perform. The first measure of spiritual progress is this. Are you becoming less possessive? Are you becoming more spacious? Are you becoming more loving without wanting to control? Are you able to offer your incense to existence without worrying whose nose receives the fragrance? That is bhakti. That is surrender. That is Venus purified by Ketu. And that is the doorway to true divine love. And this is exactly what this transit can do. When Venus moves through Leo and joins hands with Ketu, certain matters of love, attraction, relationship, pleasure, and emotional attachment may come to a karmic turning point. Some relationships may feel distant, some desires may lose their charm, some attachments may suddenly appear meaningless, some emotional expectations may break, some bonds may go through silence, separation, detachment, or deep inner questioning. But remember, Ketu does not end anything to punish you. Ketu ends what no longer carries the fragrance of truth. Ketu removes the illusion so that the soul can see reality. Ketu cuts the thread of attachment so that love can become pure. And therefore, this transit may transform your whole perception about love. You may begin to realize that love is not merely about possession. Love is not merely about physical attraction. Love is not merely about romance, comfort, luxury, pleasure, or emotional dependency. That is the lower expression of Venus. But when Venus meets Ketu, love is asked to rise. Love is asked to mature. Love is asked to become sacred. Love is asked to travel from body to the soul, from desire to devotion, from attachment to surrender, from expectation to offering, from mohabbat to ishq. Because mohabbat is ordinary love. Mohabbat still has a desire. Mohabbat still has expectation. Mohabbat still says, I want you. Mohabbat still says, you belong to me. But ishq is different. Ishq does not possess. Ishq does not demand. Ishq does not bind. Ishq does not bargain. Ishq burns the ego. Ishq melts the self. Ishq does not ask, what will I get? Ishq simply says, let me dissolve. And that is why the great Sufi saint Baba Farid used to bless seekers by saying, Ja tujhe ishq ho, meaning, go, may you fall in love. But not the ordinary love of the body, not the love that clings, not the love that controls, not the love that possesses. May you fall into Ishq, the love that is spiritual, the love that is divine, the love that transforms, the love that burns away the ego, the love that makes you disappear into the beloved. And this is the deeper purpose of Venus joining Ketu in Leo. Leo is the sign of the heart. Leo is the sign of love, expression, pride, romance, creativity, recognition, and the desire to be seen. But Ketu in Leo asks, can you love without pride? Can you give without wanting attention? Can you serve without wanting appreciation? Can you love without saying, look how much I love? Can you allow your heart to become a temple instead of a stage? Because when Venus meets Ketu in Leo, the heart is purified. False love may fall away. Ego-based attraction may dissolve. Material desires may lose their grip. Physical love may be questioned, and the soul may begin searching for something higher, deeper, purer, and more eternal. So now, let us see how this significant transit of Venus in Leo, where Venus will join hands with Ketu and receive the seventh drushti of Rahu, will impact your zodiac sign. Let us see where love will be tested, where attachment will be cut, where desire will be purified, where relationships will face karmic truth, and where Mohabbat may finally begin its sacred journey toward Ishq. So let's begin with Aries.
Aries, Mesh Rashi.
For Aries, Venus transiting in Leo with Ketu will activate your fifth house of love, romance, children, creativity, and emotional expression. This transit may bring a turning point in love. A romantic bond may feel distant, confusing, or karmically heavy. But Ketu is not taking love away. It is teaching you the difference between love that demands and love that blesses. Avoid ego, emotional dominance, and repeatedly testing love. If love feels distant, don't chase, pray. This is a powerful time for mantra, devotion, creativity, and connecting with children with patience and compassion. For Aries, this transit transforms attachment into surrender, desire into devotion, and mohabbat into ishq.
Taurus, Vrushab Rashi.
For Taurus natives, Venus joining Ketu in Leo will activate your fourth house of home, mother, emotional peace, property, comfort, and inner happiness. This transit may make you question what truly gives you peace. A beautiful house, luxury, or outer comfort may not satisfy you if the heart is restless. Family, home, mother, or property matters may feel emotionally heavy. Ketu is not taking peace away, it is showing you where you were searching for peace is the wrong place. Avoid stubbornness in relationships. Don't hold on to old wounds just to prove your point. Light a diya at home, chant mantras, clean your altar, and turn your home into a temple of silence, prayer, and love. For Taurus, this transit transforms comfort into contentment, possession into peace, and emotional security into the shelter of the divine.
Gemini, Mithun Rashi.
For Gemini natives, Venus with Ketu in Leo will activate your third house of communication, courage, siblings, writing skills, and self expression. This transit may make you silent from within. Certain conversations, people, calls, or messages may feel dry or emotionally empty. But Ketu is not making you lonely, it is teaching you the value of silence. Not every feeling needs explanation. Not every relationship needs chasing. Not every silence is rejection. Be careful with harsh words, ego based communication, and emotional games. One careless sentence can create distance in relationship. This is a beautiful time for spiritual writing, chanting, reading scriptures, and expressing devotion through words. For Gemini, this transit transforms communication into prayer, restlessness into silence, and mohabbat into the sacred language of ishq.
Cancer, Kark Rashi.
For Cancer natives, Venus joining Ketu in Leo will activate your second house of family, speech, food, values, wealth, savings, and self worth. This transit may make you question what you truly value. Money, comfort, family name, or possessions may not fill the emptiness of the heart if love is missing. Be careful with speech. Someone's words may hurt you, or your words may unknowingly hurt someone close. During this transit, silence will be more powerful than explanation. Softness more powerful than argument, and prayer more powerful than complaint. Do not measure your worth by how someone treats you. Your real value comes from the divine within you. Chant mantras, purify your speech, avoid harsh words, and offer food with devotion. For Cancer, this transit transforms speech into mantra, possession into gratitude, and ordinary love into deeper ishq.
Leo, Sinkh Rashi.
For Leo natives, Venus transiting in your own sign with Ketu will activate your first house of self, personality, body, appearance, confidence, and identity. This transit may touch your heart deeply. You may feel detached from attention, praise, admiration, or the need to be desired. Someone's behavior may make you question your worth, but Ketu is not reducing your light. It is removing false shine so your real inner radiance can appear. Don't beg to be seen. Don't perform for love. Don't decorate your personality only for approval. In relationships, avoid pride, drama, ego, and control. If someone is drifting away, don't chase them only to protect your ego. This is a powerful time for self reflection, mantra chanting, devotion, and healing your own heart. For Leo, this transit transforms ego into humility, attraction into inner beauty, and mohabbat into ishq.
वर्गो कन्या राशि
For Virgo natives, Venus with Ketu in Leo will activate your 12th house of sleep, isolation, expenses, hidden emotions, bed pleasures, surrender, foreign lands, and moksha. This transit may take you inward. You may feel emotionally withdrawn, spiritually sensitive, or tired of chasing love, pleasure, and validation. Old memories, past relationships, secret attachments, or hidden pain may return, not to disturb you, but to be released. Ketu is not creating loss, it is showing you what your soul is ready to let go. Avoid secret expectations, emotional escapism, hidden affairs, or physical attraction without spiritual depth. Meditation, mantra jap, charity, pilgrimage, spiritual retreat, and prayer before sleep will help. For Virgo, this transit transforms desire into surrender, loneliness into solitude, and mohabbat into ishq.
लिब्रा तुला राशि
For Libra natives, Venus joining Ketu in Leo will activate your 11th house of desires, gains, friendships, social circle, hopes, and fulfillment of wishes. This transit may make you question the people around you. Not every friend is a well wisher. Not every social connection has emotional depth. Some friendships may feel distant, some expectations may break, and some desires may lose their charm. But Ketu is not denying your gains, it is purifying your desires. Don't chase people only for attention. Don't measure happiness by approval, popularity, or social validation. Real love is not found in the crowd, it is found in the connection that brings peace to your soul. This is a good time for satsang, mantra chanting, spiritual friendships, charity, and letting go of comparison. For Libra, this transit transforms desire into wisdom, friendship into soul connection, and mohabbat into ishq.
स्कॉर्पियो वृश्चिक राशि
For Scorpio natives, Venus with Ketu in Leo will activate your 10th house of karma, career, reputation, authority, public image, and responsibility. This transit may make you question your relationship with success. Status, name, fame, or appreciation may not satisfy the soul if the heart is empty. You may feel unseen, undervalued, or tired of proving yourself to the world. But Ketu is not destroying your career, it is removing attachment to external validation. Work sincerely, but don't become a slave of recognition. Serve deeply, but don't beg for applause. In relationships, don't allow career pressure, ego, or ambition to dry the softness of your heart. Bring devotion into your work. Let your karma become worship and your duties become offerings to the divine. For Scorpio, this transit transforms ambition into surrender, work into worship, and mohabbat into ishq.
सैजिटेरियस धनु राशि.
For Sagittarius natives, Venus joining Ketu in Leo will activate your ninth house of fortune, dharma, guru, father, higher wisdom, pilgrimage, scriptures, and divine grace. This transit may deeply change your understanding of faith. You may realize that spirituality is not about proving your guru or path or belief is superior. True dharma does not create pride. True dharma creates humility. Some may feel distant from a guru, teacher, father figure, or belief system. But Ketu is not taking faith away. It is removing borrowed beliefs so real wisdom can awaken. In love, don't become preachy, judgmental, or morally superior. Sometimes the heart does not need philosophy, it needs tenderness. Pilgrimage, mantra jap, scripture reading, guru worship, charity, and silent prayer are powerful now. For Sagittarius, this transit transforms belief into experience, religion into realization, and mohabbat into ishq.
Capricorn, मकर राशि.
For Capricorn natives, Venus with Ketu in Leo will activate your 8th house of transformation, secrets, intimacy, sudden events, hidden fears, joint finances, and karmic healing. This transit may touch a very private part of your heart. Hidden pain, suppressed desires, trust issues, fear of betrayal, or emotional insecurity may surface. But Ketu is not here to break you, it is here to remove the poison your heart has silently carried. In relationships, avoid suspicion, secrecy, control, emotional manipulation, or tasting someone's love through fear. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? Who am I afraid to trust? Why am I still attached to pain that has already taught me its lesson? This is a powerful time for deep healing, mantra sadhana, meditation, forgiveness, and releasing karmic baggage. For Capricorn, this transit transforms fear into surrender, intimacy into honesty, and mohabbat into ishq.
Aquarius, कुंभ राशि.
For Aquarius natives, Venus joining Ketu in Leo will activate your 7th house of marriage, relationship, partnership, commitment, spouse, and one-to-one bonds. This transit may bring a karmic test in relationships. You may feel distance, emotional unavailability, or begin questioning whether a relationship is based on love, habit, dependency, attraction, or karmic obligation. But Ketu is not always here to separate. Ketu is here to reveal the truth. If a relationship has depth, it can become more spiritual. But if it stands only on ego, control, attraction, or emotional bargaining, distance may come from clarity. Don't possess your partner. Don't turn love into control. A relationship is not meant to become a prison, it is meant to become a mirror. Speak gently, avoid coldness, and don't punish someone through silence. For Aquarius, this transit transforms partnership into soul learning, marriage into spiritual maturity, and mohabbat into ishq.
Pisces, मीन राशि.
For Pisces natives, Venus with Ketu in Leo will activate your sixth house of conflicts, debts, diseases, enemies, service, routine, discipline, and karmic purification. This transit may show you where love has become a burden. You may realize that you are giving too much, adjusting too much, forgiving too much, or silently carrying pain in the name of love. Misunderstandings, criticism, arguments, or small relationship issues may disturb your peace. But Ketu is not here to make you suffer. It is here to free you from unhealthy emotional patterns. Don't confuse sacrifice with love. Don't confuse emotional slavery with devotion. Don't keep serving people who drain your soul. Speak gently but maintain boundaries. This is a powerful time to heal your body, purify your routine, chant mantras, do seva, feed animals, and serve those truly in need. For Pisces, this transit transforms suffering into wisdom, service into devotion, and mohabbat into ishq. And so, my dear friends, this Venus Ketu transit in Leo is not merely an astrological event. It is a message from the heavens. It is a reminder from the divine that love is beautiful only when it is pure. Love is healing only when it is free. Love is sacred only when it does not become possession. Because the moment love becomes control, it loses its fragrance. The moment love becomes ego, it loses its innocence. And the moment love becomes demand, it loses its divinity. Venus with Ketu asks you to return to innocent love. Love without strategy, love without manipulation, love without drama, love without ownership. Love that simply says, I love because love is my nature. Beautiful. The other day, I accidentally came across a beautiful old 1959 English song, O Carol, written and sung by Neil Sedaka. And I was deeply touched by the sweetness of that song. It is such a simple, innocent, heartfelt song where the lover tries to pursue and convince his sweetheart by saying how much of a fool he is and how even if she hurts him, he still loves her and that he would die if she leaves him. There is such an innocent voice in that song. There is no drama, no planning, no plotting, no cleverness, no ego game, just a simple heart standing naked before love. And in many ways, that is how Venus Ketu love is. It is innocent love, it is foolish love, but not foolish in a worldly sense. Foolish in the sense that the heart has not yet learned calculation. Foolish in the sense that love has not yet become business. Foolish in the sense that the soul still knows how to love without asking, what will I get in return? That is the purity of Venus Ketu. But this transit also teaches us that even innocent love must rise higher. Because if innocent love becomes attachment, it will suffer. If innocent love becomes possession, it will burn. If innocent love becomes dependency, it will break. So Ketu comes and says, love but don't cling. Feel but don't fall into slavery. Devote but don't possess. Offer your heart but don't lose your soul. Because love is not meant to make you weak. Love is meant to make you divine. Mohabbat begins with the person. Ishq ends in the divine. Mohabbat says, don't leave me. Ishq says, even if you leave, may you be blessed. Mohabbat says, you are mine. Ishq says, you belong to the divine, and so do I. Mohabbat has tears of attachment. Ishq has tears of surrender. And perhaps this is why Baba Farid used to say, Ja tujhe ishq ho. Go, may you fall in love. Not the love that only touches the body, not the love that only excites the senses, not the love that only satisfies emotional hunger, but the love that burns your ego, the love that cleans your heart, the love that breaks your possessiveness, the love that takes you closer to God. So during this transit, if something in love ends, don't immediately call it loss. Maybe it is liberation. If a relationship becomes distant, don't immediately call it punishment. Maybe it is clarity. If your heart feels empty, don't immediately call it loneliness. Maybe the divine is creating space for a higher love to enter. And if old desires no longer excite you, don't be afraid. Maybe Venus is no longer satisfied with pleasure. Maybe Venus is now searching for prayer. Maybe Venus is no longer searching for the beloved outside. Maybe Venus is now being pulled toward the eternal beloved within. So let this Venus Ketu transit teach you one thing. Don't make love small. Don't reduce love to ownership. Don't reduce devotion to my Krishna, my Buddha, my Christ, or my Guru. The Supreme cannot be possessed. The divine cannot be owned. The fragrance of love cannot be trapped in your fist. Open your hand. Open your heart. Let the incense travel wherever the wind wants to take it. Because wherever it reaches the same divine. Maybe that is how Sai Baba used to say, Sabka Malik Ek. And when you understand this, love is no longer pain. Love becomes prayer. Love becomes surrender. Love becomes ishq. And that is the highest blessing of Venus joining hands with Ketu in Leo. A reminder that unless Mohabbat rises beyond possession, desire and the body and transforms into ishq, you can never experience the true beauty of unconditional love. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hari Om Tat Sat. Jai Sri Ganesha. Jai Guru.
ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः। ॐ गं गणपतये नमः।